Testing, testing. Is the mic working? Hello. Hi ladies and baddies. What's up? How are we doing? Welcome to the unimportant life update that I thought is important enough to tell you. I guess let's get comfortable. It's taken me so long to make this video, and I think it's part of why I was not on YouTube for such a long time, is because I knew that I would have to explain the sudden change in my lifestyle and I was just kind of like confused about how to address it. But then on this random Thursday morning, Thursday dawn if you will, I've decided that now is as good a time as any to inform the ladies and baddies of this corner of the internet that I dropped out of law school. This is actually quite difficult to talk about because I know for the longest time my vlogs were really just like day in the life of a law student and then I just suddenly disappeared off of YouTube and it's like, wait, where did she go? What's happening? Where do I start with this? Hello, I'm May. I was once a struggling law student and I am no longer a struggling law student, and I thought I should explain why and what happened. So basically I moved to the UK in October of 2021 for uni. Now this was my first time ever traveling to a new country by myself, and I was also living by myself for the first time. And on top of all of that, I was 17 years old in my second year of law school. And so I think I was not particularly prepared for just how daunting of an experience that would be.
No, let me shield my tears, okay? You can't see the tears, so they do not exist.
Oh my gosh, that was really, really difficult. You might be wondering, but wait, why were you 17 years old in your second year of university? What happened there? I wish I could tell you. No, I'm joking. So I wrote my GCSEs in 2019.
I woke up at 5:30. Like, my body was just like, whoop. Like, I just rushed down to my mom. I was like, the results are out. Just as I was talking to her, one of my teachers texted. He was like, I'm sure you're happy with your results now. And I was like, wait, no, I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? And then he forwards it. She's like, oh my god! Oh my god, you did so well!
And then I wrote my A-levels in the same year. So that really fast-tracked me into university at 15 years old. So at 16, I went to do like a foundation degree course thingy, and then COVID hit. So that really limited my options for university. COVID was such a weird time because you just didn't know what the future held. So I think I went into it just assuming that like I would be staying in Ghana anyway. And in Ghana, there's only like 3 valid career choices, which are like lawyer, businessman, doctor. There's probably engineer or something, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I was choosing my major with that in mind. And I think my mom was also like, obviously, she's an African mother. She wants the best for me. And as much as I always loved to write and I always wanted to be an author, she would always say that like, yeah, that would be great as like a side thing, you know? Which, fair enough. Like, I ended up going to Lancaster University, and obviously because it was COVID, I was doing online university for a minute. And then in 2021, when things started to open up, I finally did like the exchange thing with Lancaster University in the UK. And I moved to the UK for the first time by myself, and I don't think I was mature enough to do that. So it really took a toll on me, especially because my first year took place in the comfort of my own home, with my family and a strong support system. But then to be plunged into like this entirely new environment, it just felt like my entire worldview was being deconstructed and I was just forced to reckon with it. It sounds way more dramatic than it probably was, but I was really going through it in 2021. And I think you can tell because I just disappeared off of YouTube as well. Partly because of just the things I was going through, but also because when I came to the UK the first time, my camera was stolen. So that was a great start to the year, and that also just kind of created a bad association with YouTube for me, because when I thought of YouTube, I would just think of the fact that my camera was stolen. So I literally just disappeared off of YouTube for like a year, 2 years, which is crazy to think about because like I remember uploading every single week. I was like so passionate about like recording videos and yapping away. I was in the trenches is what I'm saying. And so because I was just in such depths of despair, my grades started to slip up as well.
I got a B- in my Law 301 course, and this was my first B- that I've had The worst part is when I wrote that paper, I was not expecting an A at all. Like, I was well aware of the mediocrity that I had put onto the document. So when I received the grade, I stared at it for a hot minute, and I read and reread the professor's comments, and I realized, wait a minute, I'm in my fluff era. So I won't lie, I've not been thriving.
I felt like being smart was such a defining trait of mine. I remember I got my first like B- and I was losing my mind. And then I got a C+, and I was just like, it just kept getting worse and worse, and I was just like, okay, like actually what is going on? This actually sounds really annoying now that I hear myself. I don't think like this anymore, but back then it felt like my entire life was ending by getting a C+. And it's like, obviously you're new to the country, it's your first time living away from home, you're figuring out a lot of things about yourself. You're not going to be thriving academically. There's just too many things that you're focused on. And I wish I could go back and like just calm my 2021 self, just calm her down and say that like, you're fine, you're doing great actually, all things considered. I think simultaneously, even though my second year of uni was really difficult, it was also really great in other aspects. Because I was living by myself in England, I was really far more exposed to the world than I'd ever been. And that kind of helped me to cultivate and validate my interests in writing and in filmmaking and in theatre production. The creative side of me was really thriving, whereas the academic side of me was really failing, and like I wasn't in a good place at all. I remember just finding such resonance in literature, and it made me more and more resentful that I chose law as a degree. And I think another thing is like, growing up as like the smart kid, it probably just felt like wasted potential to pursue a creative outlet. I was really lucky to go to England because that narrow perspective of like, oh, you have to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer or an accountant or whatever, it's just so much smaller than it has to be. Being in England helped me to realize that the creative pathway was a valid choice in the first place. And I realized that like I could actually do more, especially since my academic pathways were really not fulfilling me at all. Which honestly, going into law, I never really wanted to be a lawyer. My entire thing was that I wanted to be a professor, and then I would like write my little books on the side. But as we went deeper and deeper into the law, as I learned more, I got more and more fed up with law, and I realized that dedicating my entire life to studying this would be absolutely cumbersome and unenjoyable, especially since I would much rather engage my time in like creative pursuits. So yeah, no, I was really like battling with these thoughts, I suppose, and I kind of shared that with my mom, and I told her that I wasn't feeling great and I wasn't feeling very passionate or happy with law as like a career for me. She was actually very understanding, and I think she took into consideration the fact that like I was very young at the time still, like I was 17 years old. I had my entire life ahead of me. And she asked me what I would rather be doing then. And I told her that, like I've always wanted, I want to be a writer. I wanted to give that space to bloom, potentially, to see if there's anything there, because I love books. Obviously, I feel like in every video I've talked about books or reading or writing something creative. Even the act of making videos has been a creative endeavor for me. So it's like that passion for creativity is obviously there, and it always has been. So I thought that perhaps it would make more sense to become a professor of English literature, because I would love to dedicate my time to just reading books and analyzing them. Because like, truth be told, I do still crave academic validation. So it's like I wasn't going to drop out entirely out of university, you know? And I do see the value in a degree. I just wanted it to be in a degree that I wanted to do, that I was passionate about pursuing. So my mom made me a deal. I was going to complete second year, and if at the end of the year I still wanted to pursue English literature and creative writing, then we would start applying to universities in my third year, at which time I would be 18 years old. And so that's what we did. After my second year, I came up and I was like, yep, still made up my mind, I don't want to do this. And she was like, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, after second year happened, I still didn't want to do law, surprisingly. And so we started to look at other options, but I didn't want to drop out of law school because I had already completed 2 years of university, and it would be better to have a law degree and a creative degree than to have dropped out of the law degree and just have the creative degree. So I decided that it was time to lock in my third year to secure first class and at the same time be looking at other options for creative writing and just like more creative pursuits. So that's what I did. Third year came and went, and I did indeed get a first class. I don't know how I did that, to be honest. I guess it's just hard work and dedication. So yeah, all throughout second and third year, I was really just applying to universities, and there was also going to be the little hitch that although I was going to be 19 while graduating law school, I was graduating law school. And so it made applying to university a bit awkward. In the beginning, I was looking at master's courses because that seemed like the logical step. The ones that I was interested in all required that I had like a degree in English or more dedication to creative writing than I had previously been able to allot. So like, again, like I was saying, law school is very time consuming, and it was just like impossible for me to reach the caliber of writing expertise that like would have allowed me to get into really good universities to further like harness my craft or whatever. Sorry this video is so disorganized. It is 3 a.m. and I just randomly decided to do this. I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. I will try to make sure that in editing my thoughts are expressed more coherently, but for the meantime I am really just rambling. Wop 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 wop. So since the master's option seemed like a bust, I looked more into a full 3-year degree again, which would allow me to properly explore my options and to understand who I am and what I want in life. Because again, I was still just 19, which is still normal uni going age for like many people, which also presented a hitch because again, I had a degree already and they normally take in applicants with A levels. So I basically had to make my case for why I wanted another bachelor's degree, and I applied to like 5 universities. I only really wanted the one, which I'm at right now. And my degree was basically like English, film, and creative writing, which allowed me to pursue all 3 creative outlets that like were of interest to me. And also living in the UK again allowed me to explore my interest in theatre, and yeah, it definitely paid off to take that leap of faith, because it was certainly very scary to kind of abandon the law path for something as volatile as creative writing. But like, it's fine. I feel creatively fulfilled. I feel happy. The people that I've met here are amazing. I feel like I would not trade this for the world, honestly, because it is my world. So that's basically it. I don't know what else to say. That's the update that I wanted to give you. I dropped out of law school. I'm currently in film school and I am loving it. I'm loving it. That's a very unceremonious conclusion. But no, I think it's been a really great first year. But I'm feeling so emotional because it's like, if I didn't, then what would my life look like right now? I mean, obviously I would still like, again, it's not the worst thing in the world to be pursuing the path to being a lawyer, but it's just not what I wanted. And also, thank you to my mom for actually understanding. But yeah, I'm so glad in the end that creative spark in me was not allowed to die. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now. But thank you for listening, and thank you for sticking with me. I'm definitely back now. I'm really excited about the videos that I'm going to be making. And if you're new here, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna be coming out with a uni vlog next week, and I'm really excited for that. So I hope you subscribe so you can be here to watch that if you want, I guess. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.